Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Venerable Sangha, Sialis, and the laity. So we have to continue with our discussion regarding the Dhatukatha.
好，尊敬的各位这样的各位仙友，大家晚上好。今天我们将继续来学习Dhātukatha结论。
Yes. So in the last week, during the last week, we started the method 2. Of course, the week before we started, right? The method 2, and we discussed up to the method number 5, right? The group number 5. We know that there were 8 types of states, 8 groups in method 2. So we discussed up to the 5th one. So we have to do the remainder today in our discussion. So start. Yes.
对，好，那么上节课呢，我们进行到了第5个的这一组的第2种分析方法的第5个探讨的内容。
So we have to start the 6th one, the 6th group. So the topic or the heading of the 6th group is Anidassana Sappatigehi Dhammehi, right? I will go through the Pali and get on the brief translation. Anidassana Sappatigehi Dhammehi Ye Dhamma Gandha Sanghahena Sanghahita Ayatana Sanghahena Asanghahita Dhatu Sanghahena Asanghahita Te Dhamma Katihi Khandehi Katihayatanehi Katihi Dhatuhi Asanghahita Te Dhamma Chatuhi Khandehi Dasahayatanehi Solasahi Dhatuhi Asanghahita. So the translation is, these states are classified using the aggregates, unclassified using the bases, unclassified using the elements, by the states invisible but impinging, right? So that's the translation for Anidassana Sappatigehi Dhammehi. So in the question, under how many aggregates, under how many bases, and under how many elements are those states unclassified? Those states are unclassified under 4 aggregates, under 10 bases, and under 16 elements.
那接下来我们要看到的是经文的第176段的内容，是探讨有关于Anidassana Sappattika 无间有对法的内容。经文的巴利是这样：Anidassana Sappatikehi Dhammehi Ye Dhamma Gandha Sanghahina Sanghahita Ayatana Sanghahina Asanghahita Dhatu Sanghahina Asanghahita Te Dhamma Chatuhi Khandehi Asahayatanehi So大主为阿僧伽黑达，它的含义是什么呢？无间有对法，以无间有对法，诸法所摄于以蕴摄而摄，以处摄非摄，以界摄非摄，彼等诸法非摄于哪些处哪些界呢？彼等诸法非摄于4种蕴、10种处、16种界。
Yes. So we start with the what's happening. Okay. So we'll start with the Sarupata. So Anidassana Sappatigehi Dhammehi. So the Paramata Dhammas which are included in Anidassana Sappatigehi Dhammehi is the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object. right? So we know that for gross matter, there are 12 gross matter. So from that, we have to exclude the visible object. So the balance is the 11 gross matter. So those are considered to be Anidassana Sappatika Dhamma. So the Paramattha Dhammas for Anidassana Sappatika Dhammi is the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object.
我先看一下在这里的Niddesa Sabatika 它的含义是什么？那么这种呢是叫做无间有对法。什么是无间有对法呢？在10种的之中，除了颜色之外，色处之外，剩下的9种粗的处，那么其对应的究法的数量呢，11种的究竟法，11种的对应于粗色的究竟法，它们是在此的无间有对法。
Right. So then we have to derive the Paramattha Dhammas for Ye Dhamma. To derive the Paramattha Dhamma for Ye Dhamma, we have to get the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, Ayatana Sangahena Sangahita, and Dhatu Sangahena Sangahita. So we have to get the Paramattha Dhammas for that, right? So to get the Khanda Sangahena, to get the Khanda Sangahena, oh, what's going on? I don't know what's wrong. I want to switch into this green color pen and it doesn't happen. Anyway, okay, we'll write in the blue one. Okay, Khanda Sangahena Sangahita. So to derive the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, we know this 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, they belong to the matter aggregate. So the other dhammas which are included in the matter aggregate are considered to be Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, right? So by the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, the other dhammas which includes in the matter aggregate becomes the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita. So we know in this side we have 11 gross matter, right? So it's very easy to get the other other dhammas. So that is the 16 subtle matter, and also we excluded the visible object here. So the visible object is also considered here. So we have derived the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita. So our job is not completed yet. We have to get the Ayatana Sangahena Asangahita and Dhatu Sangahena Asangahita.
And JJ can help translate.
Yes. So we'll ask him to translate, right?
Yeah.
For
now
today, Mr. JJ can translate, right? Okay, so it's your turn. So can you please translate this part?
Okay. Can Bhante just repeat again just to make sure I translate correctly, Bhante?
Okay, good. So to derive the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, so from this 11 gross matter, excluding the visible object, so the other dhammas which are classified, right? Classified using the aggregates, Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, are the 16 subtle matter. We know we have the 11 gross matter here, and it's easy to get the other side, right? So we have the gross matter here, we can get the subtle matter. So the 16 subtle matter plus the visible object, and the visible object is Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, like that, right? So because we excluded the visible object here, so Khanda Sangahena Sangahita is the 16 subtle matter plus the visible object.
OK， Bhante。那之前呢我们已经Bhante帮我们确定了这个无间 有对法呢，它的内容呢，就是指11种出色排除了这个颜。那现在接下去要确定这个耶达嘛，就是哪一些法的内容呢？首先的条件就是要满足这个 Kanda Sanghena Sanghita， 那这个就是要与之前的法呢是在摄受于同一个运之中。那同一个色蕴里面呢，除了已经有的这11种出色以外，剩余的就是16种悉色，以及呢之前排除的这个颜色所缘。所以这些呢16种悉色以及1种颜色所缘，这些就是剩下的，同样是属于在色蕴里面的这些法呢，就是在色蕴里面被相摄的这些法，就是满足第一个条件是可以成为这些耶达玛的。
Okay, so I think Bhante Kassapa can resume now. Okay, I will teach the rest. So the next one is Ayatana Sanghena Asangahita, which means unclassified using the basis. So how to get the unclassified using the basis? So having these dhammas, okay, so you have to consider these dhammas, 16 subtle matter and visible objects, and see by the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, what are the dhammas which are unclassified. So you have to get the unclassified dhammas, which is from the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object. So you have to consider this part as well. So from the 16 subtle matter and the visible object, the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, by the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, the visible object, right? So visible object is the vision base, right? It's the, okay, I'll write it here. It's the vision base, right? So from the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, so the vision base is unclassified, right? So this is unclassified. Then also from the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, the subtle matter too is also unclassified, right? The reason is why, because these 16 subtle matter, they are included in the ideation base in the Dhamma Ayatana. So because of that, it is unclassified by the 11 gross matter excluding the visible object. So that is also, you have to write it down here. (16) subtle matter. Yes.
好，那么在这里呢，接下来我们来看一下以触摄，它们是摄还是非摄？那刚刚我们已经明确，在这里的无间有对，它的内容是除了颜色之外的11种的粗色。那么在这里的彼等诸法，也就是剩余诸法，它的内容包含有1种的颜色，还有16种的细色。首先，在前面的无间有对法所包含的是9种的粗的色处，也就是在12处之中，是除了眼处之外剩下的9种的色处。那么，于是在这里的剩余诸法，它们的内容呢，我们先以处来去进行归纳呢，则这些剩余诸法，它们可以被归纳在2种处之中，它们被归纳在色处以及法处之中。这2种处呢，显然不同于在之前所看到的无间有对法所归纳到的9种处之中，所以它是非摄于在这里的以处而摄。
Then we move to the next step, which is the Dhatu Sanghena Asangahita. So for Dhatu Sanghena Asangahitas, we have to consider this part, right? Vision base and the 16 subtle matter. From that, we have to check how it is Asangahita, unclassified using the elements. So by 11 gross matter excluding the visible object, again the vision base, or we can say the vision element, right? So vision element is unclassified. Also, the 16 subtle matter is also unclassified. Right. So we know the Dhatu Sanghayana Sanghita as well, right? So same Dhammas, vision base and 16 subtle matter. Right. Okay, so we have derived the answer for Dhatu Sanghayana Sanghita.
But I can translate.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so 在接下来呢，我们来看一下以戒而摄它的情况是怎样。首先，在这里的耶达玛比等诸法，它的内容呢，正如上述是颜色和16种的细色。它们如果以戒而摄呢，它们被归纳在颜色界和法界之中，而在前面的无间有对法，它的内容呢，则是被摄于除了颜色界之外剩下的9种界。因此呢，在这里的耶达玛，他们以戒而摄呢，他们是非摄的。
Right. So now we have derived the answer for Yedhamma, right? So Yedhamma is vision element, 16 subtle matter, right? So those are the Dhammas we belong to the Yedhamma, right? So now I have repeated this thing, right? To get the Yedhamma, you have to deal with all three: Khanda Sanghayana Sanghita, Ayatana Sanghayana Sanghita, Dhatu Sanghayana Sanghita. Which means classified using the aggregates, then you have to get the unclassified using the bases, and then thirdly unclassified using the elements. So you have to get the Yedhamma for that. So that Yedhamma and Tedhamma is the same, right? Tedhamma. So those states, Yedhamma, then the question goes as Tedhamma katihi khandehi katihi ayatanehi katihi dhatuhi asanghita. So those dhammas katihi khandehi, by under how many aggregates, katihi ayatanehi under how many bases, katihi dhatuhi under how many elements, are those states unclassified, right? So those states are unclassified. Then we give the answer. Yes.
那在这里，我们要看到耶达玛的内容，它是包含有颜色以及16种的细色。在知道它的内容之后，进一步的，我们以蕴摄、触摄和戒摄3种的方式，在分析之后呢，接下来所提问题的对象贝塔玛，它的内容与耶达玛的内容呢是一致的，都指的是1种的颜色和16种的细色。这里的这些色法，也就是贝塔玛，它可以被摄于它非摄于几种的触、几种的戒、几种的触、几种的蕴、几种的触、几种的戒呢？
Right. So the answer goes as Te Dhamma Chatuhi Kandehi Dasahayatanehi Solasahi Dhatuhi Asanghita. So Te Dhamma, right? You have to get these same dhammas here. Says Chatuhi Kandehi, which means unclassified under 4 aggregates, right? So what are those 4 aggregates? So we know the dhammas which belongs here which belongs to the matter aggregate, right? Vision element and 16 subtle matter. So Chatuhi Khandehi, you have to get the 4 aggregates. So that is the 4 mental aggregates. right? 4 mental aggregates. Oh, I think Bhante is not there again. Okay, can Mr. JJ start?
那 OK 吧？对。刚才呢已经确立了这些比等法，这个耶达玛也就是耶达玛的内容呢，就是16种细色以及颜色所缘啊颜色。那这个呢是属于哪一些韵呢？它们这些都是属于色韵的，所以因此呢不在这色韵所摄的，这色韵以外的，就是这个4种韵，就是4种名韵呢，就是这些其余的法呢。所不是废色的，就是这4种名韵。所以这边呢讲 Abhidhamma Canon Kandehi 就是4种名韵。Okay.
Okay. Then the next one is regarding the aggregates. Dasahayatanehi under 10 bases. So right, it says 10 bases. So what are those 10 bases? Right, it's the 9 gross bases. Right, now we have the 16 subtle matter here, right, and the vision element here. So whatever it has to be unclassified should be the 9 gross bases, excluding the vision base, right, and also this 16 subtle matter, they are included in the ideation base, so that is considered to be classified, and the mind element, the mind base is also unclassified, right, using these dhammas which belong to matter aggregate. The mind base is also unclassified, so mind base also comes here, right? So that's how we get 10 bases, dasahayatanehi. Yes.
OK， 好，那么刚刚我掉线了，但是应该内容上是可以跟得上。接下来呢，我们来看一下这里的 Abhidhamma， 也就是一种的颜色和16种的细色，它们飞摄在哪些的韵处界呢？首先，它们是飞摄于4种的韵，为什么呢？因为在这里的 Abhidhamma 所涉及到的究竟法的内容都只是色法，也就是色韵。因此，它们飞摄于4种的名韵，就是受想行识。那再接下来，如果以处而言，它飞摄于哪些的处呢？首先，对于在这里的无间有对法，它的内容对应于12种处。在这里的 Abhidhamma 它的内容呢，飞摄于哪些的处呢？飞摄于10种的处。10种的处呢，也就对应于9种的粗的色处，还有1种的异处。OK 吧？
Next one is 16 dhatuhi asangahita. So 16 dhatuhi means under 16, right? Under 16 elements, they are unclassified. So what are those 16 elements? It's straightforward, right? We can straight away get the answer from here. So it's the 9 gross bases. And now we in the classification of the bases, we had only regarding the mind, we have only one base, mind base. So when it comes to the classification of elements, it becomes 7, right? So that 7 comes here. 7. Oh, I'm sorry. This should be gross elements, right? It should be 9 gross elements. And this is 7 mind elements. So that's how you derive the 16. 16 elements which these dhammas are unclassified. Okay, yes.
好，那么首先在这里接下来它非摄于哪些的界呢？对于在这里的颜色界以外的10种的粗色，它们对应于界的内容呢，也就是除了颜色界之外，剩下的9种的粗的色界。那么这些的粗的色界呢，非摄的内容。再者呢，因为它会摄于法界，所以不会在此出现。非摄的内容还有是异处发展而来的7种的异界，因此呢，这样加起来是9种的粗的色界和7种的异界，那么一共呢是16种的界是非摄的。
All right, so we are done with the group number 6, right? Group number 6 here. So for group number 6, there are only one state of enquiry, which we already discussed right now. Right. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, both the English-speaking Dhamma friends and also the Chinese Dhamma friends. From this, you can ask questions.
好，那么在刚刚的图表当中，我们可以看到，对于这一类的第6类的所探讨的法的主题呢，在这一组的主题之中，它只探讨一种的法，也就是无间有对法。那正如我们刚刚已经分析过，如果大家有问题的话，现在可以提出。
Okay, seems like no questions, right?
Yeah, no question, Bande.
Okay, so we'll move to the number 7, group number 7 in method 2. The topic is Sappatigehi Dhammi. I'll recite the Pali. Sappatigehi Dhammi ye Dhamma Khanda Sangahena Sangahita Ayatana Sangahena Asangahita Dhatu Sangahena Asangahita Te Dhamma Katihi Khandehi Katihi Ayatanehi Katihi Dhatuhi Asangahita Te Dhamma Chatuhi Khandehi Ekadasa Ayatanehi Sattarasahi Dhatuhi Asangahita. So Sappatigehi Dhammi. So I'll quickly go through this translation. These states are classified using the aggregates, unclassified using the bases, unclassified using the elements, by the states with impinging, right? So that's how it's translated, the Sappatigehi Dhammehi. So those dhammas, the states, under how many aggregates, under how many bases, and under how many elements are those states unclassified? Those states are unclassified under 4 aggregates, under 11 bases, and under 17 elements, right? Then the Paramatta Dhammas, which is for the Sappatigehi Dhammehi, are the 12 gross matter, right? 12 gross matter. Okay.
好，接下来我们来看的是第7组的主题。那么在这一组的主题之中，在这里我们以 Sappatigehi 这一组的法的内容为例。首先呢，我们来看一下巴利的内容。Sappatigehi Dhammehi ye Dhamma Khanda Sangahina Sangahita Ayatana Sangahina Sangahita Dhatu Sangahina Asangahita Te Dhamma Gadehi Gandehi Gadehi Ayatanehi Gadehi Dhatuhi Asangahita Te Dhamma Jatuhi Ganduhi Ekadasa Ayatanehi Satarasahi Dhatuhi Asangahita。那在这里的探讨的主题，也就是巴利经文一开始的 Sappatigehi 以有对法，这里的主题的内容究竟指的是什么呢？ 它对应于12种的粗色，也就是10种的粗的色处或色界。
Right. So next step, as usual, we have to do is to derive the answer for Ye Dhamma. So first I have to get the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, classified using the aggregates. So we know the gross matter, they belong to the matter aggregate. We have the 12 gross matter as the classifier term. So the dhammas which are classified using the aggregates by this 12 gross matter are the 16 subtle matter. Subtle matter. So those are the dhammas which are classified here, right? Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, the 16 subtle matter.
接下来我们以韵色来去分析一下。那在这里 Ganda Sangahena Sangahita， 我们知道在这里的主题的 Sabadika 它的内容呢是12种的粗色。那所以在这里的耶达玛，此外诸色或彼等诸法，它指代的内容呢是16种的细色。所以呢，以韵而色呢，它们都属于同一种的韵，即是色韵。
Okay, then we have to move to the next one, which is the Ayatana Sangahena Asangahita. So that means unclassified using the bases. So the dhammas, we have to consider this part as well. Also, we have to consider the classifier, the 12 gross matter. So by this 12 gross matter, the same dhammas, the subtle matter, is also unclassified using the classification of bases, right? So this 16 subtle matter, they are included in the ideation base, so, right? So the 12 gross matter, they are separate, right? So from this 12 gross matter, this same dhamma, the 16 subtle matter, they become unclassified, right? So it moves here. So this is Ayatana Sangahena Asangahita. The next one, Dhatu Sangahena Sangahita, is also easy, the same method, right? So this is also the subtle matter. Subtle matter, right? So the subtle matter, here it belongs to the ideation base. For the Dhatu Sangahena Asangahita, unclassified using the elements, it belongs to the ideation element.
好，接下来是以触色以及以韵色。首先，如果是以韵色呢，那么耶达玛它是非色的，为什么呢？在这里的主题的内容12种的粗色，它们是10种的粗的色处，而耶达玛所对应的16种的细色，则是被归纳在法处之中，所以呢，它们不会被归纳于同一种的处，或者说呢，耶达玛不会被归纳于所代表的法处，不会被归纳在主题所代表的10种的粗的色处之中，所以是阿桑嘎希达之非色。那对于戒而言是同样的道理，达杜桑嘎希那阿桑嘎希达，因为同样的道理，主题是10种的粗的色界，而耶达玛所对应的是16种的细色，以及是在此的法界，它们也是非摄于同一种的韵的，非摄于同一种的戒的。
Right. So now we have derived the answer. Yes. Did somebody ask a question? Okay, no. Okay. Then we have to get we know we have derived the answer for Ye Dhamma, which is the subtle matter. So that becomes subtle matter, becomes the Te Dhamma, right? So Te Dhamma, the question goes as Te Dhamma, those states, Katihi Khandehi Katihayatanehi Katihi Dhatuhi Asangahita. Under how many aggregates, under how many bases, and under how many elements are those states unclassified? So you have to get the states in which aggregates, which bases, and which elements these are unclassified. So the answer, first one, is Chatu Te Dhamma, those states are unclassified under 4 aggregates. Chatuhi Kandehi means 4 aggregates. Right, so 4 aggregates. So what are those 4 aggregates? 4 aggregates, those are the 4 mental aggregates. Four mental aggregates, right? Because these are matter, right? These are Rupa Dhammas, the matter. Because of that, Chatuhi Kandehi becomes 4 mental aggregates.
好，那么再接下来，同样的，再进一步的去发问，针对 data 嘛，也就是这里的细色，16种的细色，那16种的细色，它们非摄于几种的蕴、几种的处、几种的界呢？答案是，那些法，它们非摄于4种的蕴、11种的处和17种的界。首先，为什么是非摄于4种的蕴呢？因为这些法16种的细色，它们是色法，所以呢，它们是非摄于4种的名蕴。
Okay, so next one is Eka Dasahayatanehi, which means under 11 bases. So what are those 11 bases? So the 11 bases are, we know that now for Te Dhamma, it's the subtle matter, right? Those states are the subtle matter, which means all of them belong to the ideation base. So which means the Dhammas which belongs to those 12 gross matter, right? 12 gross matter become the Dhammas which are unclassified under the bases. So the 10 gross bases comes here. 10 gross bases. So 10 gross bases means all of them are the Rupa Dhammas, right? Which belongs to 12 gross matter. It's very straightforward. So 10 gross bases, and also this the mind base is also included here. Mind base 2 is unclassified here, right? And the reason, right? Because subtle matter, it's included in the ideation base. So the rest of the bases, all of them are considered to be unclassified. So this mind base is also included. So that's why you get 11 bases as unclassified.
好，那么这些法它们为什么非摄于11种的处呢？首先，彼等诸法，也就是这16种的细色，它们是首先摄于哪一种的处呢？它们被收摄于法处。那因此，它非收摄的处的内容呢，即是除了法处之外，剩下的11种的处。在这11种的处之中，10种的处呢，是色处，也就是粗的色处，在主题当中，也就是其所对应的内容，12种的粗色，那对应于处呢，就是10种的粗的色处。除了这10种粗的色处之外呢，还有1种的处呢是异处。
So the next one is Sattarasahi Dhatuhi Asangahita. So unclassified under 17 elements. This is also very straightforward, right? So 17. So what are those 17? We have to get the 10 gross bases, right? So I'm sorry, 10 gross elements, right? So the method is similar to the bases, right? 10 gross elements and 7 mind elements. 7 mind elements like this, right? So the 12 gross matter, I'm sorry, the subtle matter, they are included in the ideation element. So all the other elements are considered to be unclassified, right? 10 gross elements, 7 mind elements. Yes, sir. Okay, can Mr. JJ translate it?
OK， 反对。所以呢，接下去呢，这与哪一些戒呢是废设的呢？就是除了这个法戒以外，就是16种细摄是属于法戒，所以18种戒之中，除了法戒以外，剩余的17种戒呢，都是与这个这些16种细摄呢是属于废设的。那这17种戒里面呢，就包括10种粗的戒以及7种的意识戒就是跟怎么说是跟心相应的这7种意识戒、眼识戒一直到意识戒这7种。OK， 班迪。
Yes. So we are done with this 7th group, right? So we'll look at how many other dhammas which comes here, right? So it's only one state of enquiry which belongs to group number 7. Yes, also.
Okay. Sorry, Bande. Network not so stable. Okay, I will translate. 接下来呢，对于这一组的主题，第7组的主题，在这一组主题当中所探讨的法的内容呢，只有一个，也就是我们刚刚看到的，有对法这一种。
Right.
Okay, Bande.
Okay. So, have any questions? Please ask me. If there are any questions?
大家有任何的问题都可以提出。
All right. So, okay. No questions. We'll move to the group number 8, the 8th group, which is the final one in the second method. So I'll go through the Pali and quickly translate it. Upada dhamme ye dhamma khanda sanghahena sanghahita ayatana sanghahena asangahita dhatu sanghahena asangahita te dhamma katihi khandehi katihayatanehi katihi dhatuhi asangahita te dhamma chatuhi khandehi ekadasahayatanehi sattarasahi dhatuhi asangahita. These states are classified using the aggregates, unclassified using the bases, unclassified using the elements, by the states which are derived under how many aggregates, under how many bases, and under how many elements are those states unclassified. Those states are unclassified under 4 aggregates, under 11 bases, and under 17 elements. So, upada dhammehi, right? So, the Paramattha Dhammas which are applicable for Upada Dhammehi is the 24 derived matter. Yes. Okay, Mr. JJ, please translate.
OK， 班迪。接下去呢，这第8种组的这个问答呢，就是说 Upada Dhamma 就是所造法。那在所造法里面呢，它以哪一些法呢？它是以蘊相摄，可是是粗非摄、戒非摄。那这些法呢，又 有哪一些法是与这一些法是在运、处跟接呢都是废色的呢？这是个问题。那答案呢就是呢是4种运、11种处以及17种戒。那首先这个所造法，它的究竟法的内容是什么呢？这个所造法呢就是我们讲的所造色。那所造色呢就是24种这个所造色，是这个所造法的究竟法的内容。Okay.
Yes. So then we have to derive the Paramattha Dhammas for Khanda Sangahena Sangahita for that, right? So for Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, it's very straightforward. We know we have 24 derived matter, which means we have the 4 great elements, right? For 4 great elements which falls in the matter aggregate, they become the Dhammas which are classified using the aggregates, right? So 4 great elements. So what are those 4 great elements? Earth, water, fire and air, right? So those are the 4 great elements which belongs here, right? For the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, that is the states classified using the aggregates. Yes. Also, please translate.
Bante, I'm not so sure about the network. Maybe also Mr. Gigi can help translation. Okay.
Okay. So Mr. JJ, please translate.
OK， 本地来那接下去呢，与它的运所相涉的呢，就是这个4种这个大种色。这4种大种色呢，就是地、火、地、水、火、风这4种大种色，就是与这个运相色，与这24种所造色相似于同一个色域里面呢，就是这4种大种色。OK。
Okay. So then we move to the Ayatana Sangahena Sangahita, which means unclassified using the elements, right? So now we have the classifier term, which is the 24 derived matter, and using this 24 derived matter, we have to unclassify the Dhammas from here. We know the 24 derived matter. So in the 24 derived matter, right? So for 24 derived matter, we have the 15 subtle rupa, right? Subtle matter for Upada Dhamma, and also the 9 gross matter, right? So 9 gross matter, which excluding the earth, fire and air, right? So 9 gross matter, which means the from the gross matter we have to remove the earth, fire and air. So this is the composition of the 24 derived matter. Okay, please translate this.
一本地老师再解释一次说呢，这24种所造色，它们的在处方面的成分是什么呢？因为这24种所造色呢，可以把它分类成15种细色以及9种粗色。那15种细色就是除了水界以外的15种细色，而9种粗色是除了地界、火界、风界以外的剩余的9种粗色。OK。
Right. So from this 24 derived matter, so this 24 derived matter is from these 4 great elements: earth, water, fire and air. So this water element, it belongs to the ideation base, right? So this belongs to the ideation base. So from this 24 derived matter, we know there are 15 subtle matter. From this 15 subtle matter, this water is considered to be classified, right? But earth, fire, and air, which belongs to the tangible base, they are unclassified, right? So ayatana sangahena asangahita, we get earth, fire, and air, right? So this is the tangible base, earth, fire, and air, right? So that becomes the ayatana sangahena asangahita.
那之前通过相色法里面呢，我们已经知道说有4种大种色，就是地水火风。那这地水火风这4大种色之中呢，水界是属于这7色里面，这个都是属于同样的法处。所以因为是属于同样的法处，所以在这边呢，如果我们现在看的是以处来说呢，是属于非色的。就不符合了，因为呢它是相摄于法处的，所以我们的水界呢就不另外考虑，所以剩余的是只有这个地界、火界跟风界。那地界、火界跟风界呢是属于处，所以这个呢是没有与之前的这24种所造色呢相摄于同样的处的，所以这个是在处来说呢是属于非色的，所以因此呢。我们要符合第2个条件的，就是处是非色的呢，就只有剩下地界、火界跟风界所组成的这个处这一个而已。Okay, then.
Okay. Next one is dhatu sangahena asangahita, which means unclassified using the elements. It's the same method, similar method. So dhatu sangahena asangahita, it also comes to now what happened to my pen? Okay, so this becomes the tangible elements. The method is same, right? Earth, fire, and air, right? So dhatu sangahena asangahita is the same method. Okay, so now also Kassapa, you can translate also.
Okay, Pandit. Okay, so 到这里呢，我们看到再进一步的是提到以戒舍，它也是非舍的。同样的道理，因为在此呢，耶达玛它的内容，也就是剩余的那些法所指代的内容里面，虽然在韵里面出现的是地水火风4大的色法，但是在这里面呢，依然也只有3种的地、火和风界，他们会在此以构成处界的方式在此出现。
Right. So the other part is very straightforward. It's very straightforward. So te dhamma. So te dhamma means the earth, fire, and air, which is this indicated in here, becomes te dhamma. Those states katihi kandehi, katihi ayatanehi, katihi dhātuhi asangahita. Under how many aggregates, under how many bases, and under how many elements are those states unclassified. So the answer states te dhamma chatuhi kandi. Those states are unclassified under 4 aggregates, right? 4 aggregates which comes here, which is straightforward. What are those 4 aggregates? Which is the mental aggregates, right? 4 mental aggregates. 4 mental aggregates. Okay.
好，那么我们需要注意的是，在这里面呢，耶达玛因为上述的原因，它的构成的内容呢，只有地、火和风3种的色法，大种色法。接下来继续的进行提问。那么对于那些法，它们非摄于几种的韵、几种的处、几种的界呢？ 在此的那些法所指代的内容，就是处处或处界所包含的地、火、风三种色法。答案是，那些法它们非摄于4种的蕴、11种的处和11种的界。哪4种的处呢？即是哪4种的蕴呢？即是4名蕴。因为在上述的这3种色法，它们都是包含在色蕴，而非摄于4种的名蕴。Okay, Pandit.
Yes. Then ekadasahayataneh asangahita. So ekadasahayatane means under 11 bases. It's unclassified under 11 bases. Now it's very easy to get the answer. Now why? It's how to get this 11? We know this tangible element, right? So tangible element or the tangible base. So these dhammas are included in the tangible base. So from the 12 bases, the other 11 bases excluding the tangible base becomes the ekadasahayatanehi, right? So other way we can say 9 gross bases, 9 gross bases, and we have the mind base and also the dhammayatana, the ideation base, right? So ekadasahayatanehi, get the answer like that.
接下来非摄于哪11种的处呢？这11种的处呢，很容易被理解，因为在之前我们所提及的贝达玛所指代的是1种的处，即是处处。那因此它非摄于的处的内容呢，也就是除了处处之外剩下的11种的处，即是9种的粗的色处，还有呢法处以及意处。
Then next one is sattarasahi dhatui, which means under 17 elements, it's unclassified. Same way, same method like the bases. So it's the 9 gross bases and 7. I'm sorry, it should be 9 gross elements. And 7 mind elements and ideation element, right? Ideation element. So that's how we get the sattarasahi dhatui. Those states are unclassified under 17 elements.
接下来非摄于哪些的界呢？答案是非摄于17种的界，因为贝达玛它被摄于1种的界处界，所以非摄的界呢，其实除了这种界之外，剩下的17种的界，具体是哪17种的界呢？它包含有9种的粗色所对应的界，除了处界之外，剩下的9种的粗的色界，还有呢法界和7种的七识界。
All right. So we are done with all these 8 groups. So for this also, for the 8th group also, there is only one state of enquiry. So that's how we derive the 42 here, right? So for number 1, we have 26. For number 2, 2 dhammas, 2 states of enquiries. For 3, 7, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. So it goes like that. Yes.
好，那么我们再回到这个表格当中来去看到，当所出现的耶达玛彼等诸法的内容是地火风的时候，那么像这种情况，它的主题可能拥有的情况呢，只是有1种的情形，也就是在此我们所探讨的取法的内容。
Right. So if you have any questions, you all can ask me.
请问大家有什么问题吗？
Yes, Bhante.
Yes.
I still do not really understand why we need these 8 groups. We can put the phenomena only into these 8 groups after we have analyzed them, not before, for my opinion. What is the reason to make these 8 groups for this study?
To have this, the reason to have these 8 groups because the class one thing is that I mean, at least we need to have two groups, right? The two groups we need to have, because we know here from Cakkayatha, the method which comes from for the rupa, right? For the matter, and this is different. At least we need two groups for the consciousness, right? So at least we need two groups. But for the other methods, right? For the now when you see now when you go through these 8, right? So this one, I'm sorry, this one, it's a part of the consciousness. The rest of the states of inquiry, they belong to the matter aggregates, right? Matter aggregate, a part of a matter aggregate. So the reason to have it, it's the difference between these the what do you call this, the aggregates, bases and elements. So that's why we see it. And also one more thing which I believe, or say in my opinion, it's that this classification, right? Now it's used basically to memorize this book. You know, if in Myanmar tradition we have something called in Burmese we call it Saumbo. Saumbo means like a kind of a small poem which includes sometimes Pali and Burmese, which is easy to memorize. It's kind of a code, you know. It's a kind of a code which helps to memorize it. So then when you know that for group number 1 there are numbers like this, like 4 to 8, the aggregates, bases and elements, then you can memorize it easily. So then I think it's one reason. And also there is subtle differences in each of these methods, right? Small differences. So like say it's the same method, I would say, same method, but still it consists of subtle differences. So to deal with these differences, it's easy to have this breakdown. So the teaching, the explanation becomes quite easy. So that's how I see about it. Yes. So ideally we should have gone with like just 2. It's done. Like we can have one for the Cakkayatana and Cakkuvijñāna Dhātuya. Could have done in that way as well. But there is this difference. Yes. For my understanding, that's how it's like that.
Pandey, I have one opinion.
Yes, also.
Maybe this one would be easier for us to discern what is a Yedama according to this chart.
Yes, of course. Because
I think that's a main purpose. Because when we analyzing some Dharma, means like the beginning of the Sutta, when we see this Dharma, we need to analyze what is Yedama according to the subject. Then when we come to this chart, we can easily find out what is Yedama.
Yes, because there are subtle differences even in these Rupa Dhammas which I explained here. That's the reason I think. And also now this chart, it's not from the chart from the Burmese shadows, right? Using the charts from the Burmese shadow, I modified in this way to teach it to teach based on the commentary, right? So in Myanmar, we already explained it. It's a different way that which is taught. They teach in Myanmar tradition, in Abhidhamma tradition, they teach in these 8 groups, same dhammas. The way of explanation is different. So it's not totally what you see in Myanmar. Yeah, that's the other thing.
If you go to the last chart,
this
the
one,
last
right?
page, if you go
Yes. Also, I could not hear. There was a problem with my connection as well.
Okay,
This time I
can you hear me
dropped.
now? Okay. Yeah, so what I think is just a previous chart, what we already analyzed is they are just the examples we already analyzed in each group. But in some condition, in different Sutta numbers, when we analyze one certain Dhamma, maybe the Ye Dhamma would be the same like a previous one we already analyzed. So by checking this chart, we can see in different suttas, different paragraph, the Ye Dhamma are the same or are not the same. So I think the main purpose is helping us to analyze the Ye Dhamma.
Yes, of course. Yes, it served that purpose as well. Also regarding the for the memorization also, it helps. I mean, whatever you see in my chart and all this, you cannot say any way supporting the memorization. But if you go through the Burmese books and all, you find this method. It's easy to memorize. It's like you can memorize this side as well, the answer as well, like that, because we have it in one categorization. Okay. Yes.
Okay, but let me translate.
Yes.
好，那么刚刚夏雷有问这样的一个问题，为什么在这里面我们要看这样的一个表，也就是有8组的表，将它们分为8组的目的是什么呢？那么老师给出的解释呢，一方面是因为在这样分组之后，它会方便我们用运处界的摄非摄的方法去分析。第二个主要的原因是因为在传统的缅甸的教理学院之中，他们在这样归纳为8组之后呢，会比较容易记忆。Okay, Pandey.
Okay. Okay, my internet connection is not stable, so I stop the video. Okay. Now what I'm going to explain is a little bit from the commentary, and one of the Dhamma friends asked me this question regarding the states of enquiries which comes here, right? We know in total in Dhātukathā there are 371 states of enquiries, but we only get 42 here, right? The Lord Buddha has preached only 42 states of enquiries here. So what are the reasons for not including the remainder in here, right? So that's what I'm going to discuss. And what I'm going to discuss is going to be a summary, a kind of a summary from the commentary, right, from the Dhātukatha. Yes, sir.
好，那么接下来呢，老师为大家做一个总结。在整个的结论之中呢，它所出现的像这样的问答的所针对的内容呢，也就是主题的内容呢，有Pandey, so in Dhātukatha totally how many Buddhas we have?
How many? Oh, in total there are 371. So out of that we are discussing only 42.
Okay, Pandey. 那么在结论之中呢，像这样的巴达，也就是问答所针对的主题的内容，一共是有371个。但是呢，在第二法之中呢，我们看到的在这里出现的一共的数量呢，是只有42种。Okay, Pandey.
Right. Okay. So to start the explanation, we have to look at these 8 groups, right? So in these 8 groups, what we see from the first group, it is Chakkayatanena. It's a part, a portion of the matter aggregate. When you look at the second one, Pottabhayatanena, which is earth, heat and air. So that is also a part, a portion of the matter aggregate. right? This one, the third one, Chakku Viññāna Dhātuya, which means two eye consciousness. This also, this is a part of the consciousness, right? So the first two, they were part of the matter aggregate. This one is a part of the consciousness, right? From the Viññāna. Yes, also.
好，我们看到在这里的八组之中的第一个是 Jagayatana， 那它呢是有关于色法的内容。第二组的 Bodhabhayatana 呢，它也是有关于色法的内容。第三组是Chakku Viññāna 是眼识，它是有关于明法的内容。Okay,
right. Yes. So moving further down, the fourth one, it is Ittindriyena. That is also a part of the matter aggregate. Further, the fifth one, it is Asanya Bhavena. Asanya Bhavena, that is also a part of the matter aggregate. The sixth one, Anidassana Sappatigehi Dhammehi. We discuss all these three dhammas here. So Anidassana Sappatigehi Dhammehi, it is also a part of the matter aggregate. The seventh one, Sappatigehi Dhammehi, that is also a part of the matter aggregate. The eighth one, Upada Dhammehi, that is also a part of the matter aggregate, right? Not the full matter aggregate, it's a part of the matter aggregate.
那么接下来的从第四组开始，那么第四组呢，它也是有关于色法的内容。第五组呢，也是有关于色法的内容。那么第六组呢，也是第六组、第七组、第八组呢，都是有关于色法的内容。
Right. So in summary, right? In summary, we can say out of these eight groups, the third one, it is a part of the matter. It's a part of the consciousness, and the rest are part of the matter aggregates, right? So in summary, we can say it like that. Yes, sir.
好，那么在这八组之中呢，我们来做个总结。我们可以清楚的看到，只有第三组的内容它是与明法相关的，除此以外，剩下的呢都是与色法相关联的。
Right. So now we have to look at why some of these states of enquiries are not being preached by Buddha in this Lord Buddha in this second method. Right. Now the first example which is given in the commentary is Rupakhandu. Rupakhandu, right? Rupakhandu, which means the matter aggregate. Right. So if we take the matter aggregate, it is the full aggregate, right? It's not a part of the aggregate. You consider the whole thing, the full Rupakhanda. So the first part, it is we have to do it Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, right? So if you consider the Khanda Sangahena Sangahita, so the Rupakhanda, if you consider Rupakhanda, and if it is the classifier term, so when you say Rupakhandu, the full Rupakhanda will be considered as the classifier. So there won't be other dhammas which is classified by the Rupakhanda, right? The whole thing is classified. There won't be other dhammas to be considered as ye dhamma. So the Rupakhanda itself, it takes the full of the Rupakhanda, right? There won't be any dhammas. But if you say Chakku Viññāna Dhātuya, if you say Chakkayatanena, so there are other dhammas, right? So there are other dhammas which are classified by the classification of the aggregates. So when you take Rupa Khandu, there won't be anything like that, right? There won't be other Dhammas which are classified by Rupa Khandu, right? By the classification of the aggregates, Khanda Sanghahena Sanghahita. There won't be anything. Yes.
OK， 那么在这里的话呢，我们来做一些的整理。那么老师在这里呢，首先表明是有关于色蕴的问题。那么如果是对于色蕴是作为整个的色蕴，就是全部的色法作为所探讨的内容，那么当以色蕴以蕴而摄的时候呢，那么很显然在整体的色蕴之中将不会有其他的法。也就不会有讨论的空间。但是如果我们举例以眼处为主题来去进行讨论呢，那么我们就会有其他的空间去讨论它们相互之间是否是能够存在摄与非摄的问题。
Right. So there won't be anything to be considered as asangahita. I mean, to be considered as unclassified because of that. So we cannot move further from Khanda Sanghahena Sanghahita because of the Rupa Khanda taking the full of the matter aggregate, right? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Bande, I'm a little bit laggy. Can you repeat?
Yeah, I mean, so we cannot move further, right? We have to stop it here from Khanda Sanghahena Sanghahita. We cannot go to Ayatana Sanghahena Sanghahita, Dhatu Sanghahena Sanghahita. Because Rupa Khandena, if this is fully all the Dhammas are considered in Khanda Sanghahena Sanghahita. There won't be other Dhammas in Ayatana Sanghahena Sanghahita and Dhatu Sanghahena Sanghahita.
OK， Bande。好，那么也就是说，那么我们同样的道理，如果以色蕴整体而言，那么它对于整体的色蕴以蕴而摄呢，它已经是被全部的收摄在色蕴之中了。那么以处与界而去摄呢，那么自然的他们也没有办法再去讨论摄与非摄的差别。
Next, the other example it's given is the Vedana Khandu. That is the feeling aggregate, right? That is the feeling aggregate. It is the same theory, same logic, which is applicable for the feeling aggregates, for the Vedana Khanda as well, right? So Rupa Khanda cannot go. Same with the Vedana Khanda, because all the Vedana are included in Vedana Khanda, right? Vedana, there won't be anything to be considered as asangahita, right? Everything is sangahita in here. Yes.
OK， Bande。OK， 那么如果接下来我们来看是以受蕴作为分析的对象呢，那么很显然在此受蕴呢，它不会代表所有的名蕴。那么在去分析的时候呢，它与色蕴呢就会有明显的不同。
All right. Then the same theory with Sanya Khanda as well, right? Which is also which is the other Khanda, right? Same with the Sanya Khandu. Yes, also. Please translate.
好，那么同样的，当我们去分析其他的名蕴，比如说像想蕴啊、行蕴啊，在分析它们的时候呢，也是对于他们而言，他们并不能够涵盖其所对应的全部的民法的内容。
Okay. Now, if you move to the Sankharak Khanda, Sankharak Khandu, Right? So Sankara Kando is the mental formations aggregate. Right? So it's the mental formation aggregate. If you say Sankara Kando in full, again we come across the same problem, right? Because it's the whole thing is included. But in Sankara Kanda we know there are in Sankara Kanda there are 52, if not 52, we have 50 mental factors, right? There are 50 mental factors as well. Okay, so please translate up to this point.
好，那么接下来呢，如果是对于行运而言呢，那么来看一下行运它所包含的内容是什么呢？行运它包含有50种的心所法。
Right. So 50 mental factors. Now say we take one Dhamma, right? We'll say Panya. Panya is the wisdom, right? So we consider the Panya as the Dhamma, which is as a state of enquiry. So for Panya, we can say Kanda, I'm writing very short, Kanda Sangahena Sangahita. Right? We can say Kanda Sangahena Sangahita, and from Panya, what will happen? The other 49 mental factors can be considered as Sangahita, right? From Panya, from Kanda Sangahena. Yes.
好的，那么在这50种的心所之中呢，我们举例，以慧心所为例。当慧心所作为在这里被探讨的主题的时候呢，那么进一步的我们去分析有哪些法可以和它以运摄以运摄而摄呢？那么剩下的除了慧心所之外，剩下的49种心所呢，可以与慧心所以运摄而摄，也就是它们都可以属于行运。
Right. So then we move to the next one. Ayatana Sangahena Asangahita. So Ayatana Sangahena Asangahita means unclassified by the classification of the basis, right? So if we say like that, Ayatana Sangahena Asangahita, we know the 49 from Panya. Now, where does this Panya belongs to? It belongs to the ideation element, right? Sorry, ideation base. It belongs to the ideation base, right? So the 49 mental factors which were classified using the classification of the aggregates, they are classified in where? In the same place, right? In the ideation base itself. 49 is also classified here. So whatever the dhammas which are classified using the classification of the aggregates from Panya, they are classified in the ideation base as well. So we cannot use the word Asangahita. There is no dhamma which are unclassified by Panya. Right? So that is the reason a part of the mental factors, a portion of the mental factors like Panya or any other mental factors are not, any other mental factor is not considered in this second method.
那么在这里呢，基于我们之前的上一步的分析，对于以慧心所作为分析的时候，那么其他的49种的心所是可以与慧心所以运摄呢，是都可以归纳在同一种运之中。然而，当我们进一步的以处摄而去进行分析的时候，如果我们想要得到的答案呢，是以 以处摄非摄，我们会发现它则会出现矛盾。为什么呢？因为在此的主题慧心所，它被归纳在法处，而在蕴摄之中被同摄于同一种蕴的49种的心所呢，它们也是被摄于法处之中。那么这样的话呢，它就不会出现阿桑嘎黑达。
All right. Okay. So next problem, we have the other part, right? Viññāna khandhu. Right? So if you consider Viññāna khandhu, which is the consciousness element, consciousness aggregate, right? The 89 chittas, the full thing is considered here when you say Viññāna khandhu. So what happened? There won't be any other dhammas which are unclassified, right? So that's why Viññāna khandhu is not come here, which means the full Viññāna khandha does not come here in the second method. Yes, sir.
Sorry, Pandey, I didn't hear clearly, Pandey.
Yes. It's the same logic like the Sanya khandhu, right? So if you consider the full Viññāna khandha, there is no other dhamma to be considered as Sanghita or Sanghita, because whole thing is Sanghita.
Okay, Pandey. 好，那么如果我们接下来再去看十蕴而言呢，那么对于十蕴而言，它的内容只有一种法，所以呢，我们不可能以这样的范围再去取其中的一个来去探讨它与其他的法是摄还是非摄，所以呢，它也不能够去被探讨。Okay,
yes. But we saw 7 dhammas here, right? We saw like here. We found the Chakku Viññāna Dhātuya, which was a part of the consciousness, right? And there were how many? There were 7 states of enquiries, which were parts, which were portions of the consciousness, right? 7 mind elements we found here, right? 7 mind elements. There is no problem with that. Why? Because they were parts, right? They were parts. So Khandha Sanghahena Sanghahita, we can get an answer, right? If we consider 1 mind elements, the other 6 mind elements are going to be Khandha Sanghahena Sanghahita. They are going to be classified by 1 element, right? 1 mind element can classify the other 6 mind elements. So we have that feature, and if you move to the Ayatana Sanghahena also, there is an answer, right? Ayatana Sanghahena Sanghahita, it's classified in the classification of the bases. So we can get the answer for the part of this mind of the consciousness, if it is a portion of the consciousness.
那么虽然如此，如果我们是取整体的十蕴之中的某一些的名法，某些的十蕴在一起，比如说我们看到的眼识界，那么以眼识界所归属的70界为这样的一个群体一个组，我们去探讨他们其中的一种法与其他的法是否是相摄的时候呢，我们就有探讨的空间。比如当我们以眼识作为主题的时候，那么则有剩下眼识界作为主题的时候呢，则有剩下的6种识界与它一起去进行分析，它们是属于以蕴摄或以处摄摄或非摄的情形。那么这样呢，则是可以去进行分析的。
And what will happen? Like we know that. So now we know that in the second method, only a portion of the mind element of the consciousness, a portion of the consciousness, and a portion or a part of the matter aggregate is considered. So what if it's going to get mixed up, right? Mixed up means like if for like say for example for Chakku Viññāna Dhātu, if there is another Viññāna Khandha, or if I'm sorry for another mind element, or if another mental factor is included, you cannot get the answer, right? So same with the Viññāna as well, for the consciousness as well. So if you add another Rupa, another matter, another Paramata Dhamma from matter aggregate, you will not get the answer. So only the Dhammas which are not mixed are considered, right? Viññāna Khandha, which is not mixed with Rupa. I'm sorry, not the Viññāna Khandha. The mind elements which are not mixed with Rupa, and also the parts or portions of matter which are not mixed with any other mental aggregate are being preached in this second method.
在我们现在所讨论的第二种的法门论定式论母，也就是方法论母之中，我们现在所使用的第二法所探讨的作为主题的内容呢，它不可能是出现名法跟色法混淆的情况。比如说，如果在这里我们探讨的主题是演处，那么它不会有演处和其他的实界或其他的新所法混合在一起作为主题的情况。也同样的，比如说它如果说是在时运里面的某一些的实界，比如说70界当中的其中一个，它也不会和其他的色法一起混淆而成为被分析的主题。
Right. So that's what I wanted to explain, and there was a question for me personally from a Dhamma friend, so that's why I especially mentioned this. So I think I answered that question as well. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding this thing or anything regarding the second method, you all can ask me.
那么以上呢是尊者的一位法友和他一起探讨之后分享给大家的内容。对于在此的第二法的内容，如果大家还有任何问题，可以现在提出来。Bande, sorry, Bande, you can check the chat, meeting chat. Siale Indamani have one question.
Oh, I think we have already answered that question. I saw it. I think we have answered it, right? May Bante explain more about how to get the 42 states? Right. So we in this answer I explain what kind of dhammas are included in the 42 in the second method, and why some dhammas are not included, why states of inquiries are not included in this second method. So I think I have answered the question. If not, she can ask the question again or in a different way, maybe.
小雷，你的问题，你觉得有解答吗？
没有啊，Bante. Bante, may I know about the last chart? You see the last chart. So may Bante explain more about how to get the 42 states? The last chart. Yeah, this one. Thank you, Bante. 谢谢尊者。
How to get, in the sense, I would say like this is the now we see 1 to 8, the groups, right? The groups which we have derived. So the questions which follow the same pattern, same method, questions and the answers which follow the same method are grouped in this particular way. It's like that. I mean, there is no special method to get this 42. It's like by looking at the 42 dhammas, 42 states of enquiries which comes in the second method, it is grouped in this way. What we learned from other groups.
那么我给大家翻译一下。下列有问是如何得到这42种法的呢？那夏多回答说呢，是在这个表格当中，我们是可以看到，它总结下来是42种法。实际上呢，这42种法是我们在经文当中看到的。那一共是从第171段到178段的经文的内容，每一段的内容我们梳理出来，它所出现的主题的内容呢，加起来一共是这样的42个。下来你可以自己在课后看一下经文的内容，就可以知道。
Any other
Okay,
question?
thank you, Bante. 谢谢尊者。
Yes, I think there was a question from Mr. JJ Tong, I think.
Bante, Vandami Bante. Bante,
Can
may
you
I ask
speak
Bante
a
just
little bit
now?
louder, please?
Oh, okay. Bante, is it okay now, Bante?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Bante just now was explaining that cannot have a mixture of vijnana and rupa. That is also not possible. May Bante explain why a mixture of that means a part of rupa and a part of vijnana, if they form a state of inquiry, why is it not possible?
Part of vijnana and part of rupa. One reason is, like, we know part of vijnana, not the one reason, I think it's the main reason, right? I have never encountered this question before. It's so exciting to have this class, right? Okay. So now we know the nature of vijnana, right? We know it's different, right? It's khanda sangahena sangahita. I'm writing in short form, right? Khanda sangahena sangahita and ayatana sangahena sangahita and dhatu sangahena asangahita. Are we clear on this? This Pali is different,
Yes.
right? We discussed this about quite a lot.
Yes.
In mind elements, the Pali is different.
Yes, Bante.
All right. Okay, so this is regarding the vijnana. If you consider a rupa, right? Rupa means a matter, a part of matter, right? A portion of a portion, right? So that's the type of dhammas which we found in the second method, right? So the Pali, it comes as khanda sangahena sangahita ayatana sangahena asangahita and dhatu sangahena asangahita. So I think now you know the answer, right? These two is different. It doesn't fall in the same way, same method. The dhammas, the arrangement of, I would say, like the classification of dhammas are different in this when it comes to a portion of the consciousness and a portion of the matter.
Okay, thank you, Bante.
Yes, sir.
好，那么这之前有问了一个问题，当这里的问答的所提问的针对的主题的内容，如果说是民法跟色法混在一起的时候，为什么他们不可以呢？那老师在这里给大家解释了一下。那当这里所被问及的这里的内容，这里的主题的内容是民法的时候呢，那么通常而言，就是按照我们之前课上所提及过的两种的方法而言呢，他们以运处界的摄与非摄的方式的问答来去回答的话呢，那么如果主题是民法，它的答案一定是以运摄是摄的，以运摄而摄，以处是而摄，以界呢是非摄的。这是当它的主题是民法的时候，而当主题是色法的时候呢，那么则它的以运处界探讨摄非摄的答案呢，一定是以运摄是相摄，以处摄是不相摄，以界摄呢是不相摄。所以呢，他们之间在以处 相摄与否的答案的出现上呢是不一致的，所以呢，他们这种情况是不可能出现的。
Okay, so any other questions?
May I clarify another thing, please? May I clarify for the on the Sankara Kanda, the Bhante explained if it is only a part of the Cetasika, like Bhante mentioned the Panya Cetasika,
Yes.
it cannot meet the requirement of Ayatana Asangahita.
Exactly.
But because with a part of Vijnana Kanda, the second part becomes Ayatana Sangahita. So if it is Ayatana Sangahita, it would have been still okay as Dhammayatana. But in this case, then it would not meet the third condition of Dhatu Sangahena Asangahita.
Yes,
And that's the reason
exactly.
why Cetasika is excluded. So
Yes.
would that be correct?
Yes, good. Yes, you're right.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bhante.
Yes. Did you get it also? Do you
好，
need
那么
explanation?
Yes, Bhante.
Okay, good.
那么刚刚贤友呢，他说我们在刚刚讲到，如果主题探讨的是行运里面的这些心所法的时候呢，因为我们在提及主题是名法的时候，它所出现的运处界摄非摄的这个答案呢，它的定式呢，就得出来的结论呢，一定是以运摄是相摄，以处摄相摄，以界摄是非相摄的。那在这里尊者在刚刚写的时候呢，以处摄的时候，他写的是是不相摄的。那如果我们在这里将它改为相摄呢，实际上会看到以行运当中的这些心所去讨论的时候呢，以处摄它也是可以满足相摄的，这个条件实际上是满足的。然而如果我们进一步的再去探讨以界摄是否相摄的时候呢，我们会发现它以界摄得到的答案呢，也应当是相摄的，就是说它们都会相摄于法界。但是呢，按照我们之前分析的那个定式而看呢，在界摄而言，它一定是不相摄的。因为这样的缘故呢，在这里行运是不可能作为被探讨的内容。
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I think we have done with the questions.
But I'm a little bit doubting when you say if the inquiry is talking about the mixture of nama and rupa together. In this case, if we do the mixture of nama and rupa, how we check the yedama?
Those kind of dhammas are not included also.
Yes,
Like
because
if it's a
Bhante,
mix,
you are showing the chart below. Yeah, these answers actually are getting from we analyze the yedama, right?
yes, of course.
Yeah, so if we do the mixture of nama and rupa together, then how we can get the yedama?
I mean, if you consider state of inquiry from those 371, and what it means is that we cannot get a yedhamma which satisfies all three conditions. That's what
Okay,
it means,
understand, Bhante. Okay.
right? For in this case, it's different, right? If you mix with vijnana with the rupa, if you mix the consciousness and rupa in the matter, it's different because of this thing. Because anyway the classification is different, right? So in this case, now say for example, if you consider a part of sankhara, if part of sankhara, when you are adding this thing, it does not satisfy the conditions.
Okay, Bhante.
Yes, so I think there are no more questions, right? Okay, so we'll transfer merits and finish the class. Okay, so during last 2 hours, all of us accumulated so many merits regarding teaching Dhamma, regarding listening Dhamma, learning Dhamma, and reflecting these profound words of Buddha. So we'll transfer these merits, share these merits to the beings in this world and the other worlds. And may all these beings be well, happy, healthy, and may this Kusala Kamma be a supportive factor for them to attain Nibbana. May this Kusala Kamma be a supportive factor for us to attain Nibbana. So until the day that we attain Nibbana, may all of us will be blessed with luxuries and good things in life, and also may all of us be blessed with the association of virtuous friends, and may all of us will be blessed with Dhamma until the day we attain Nibbana. So with this wish, we'll transfer the merits, we'll share the merits by reciting these stanzas, which comes in the final at the end of the Abhidhamma Canon. So I'll recite it. Yang patthang kusalang tassa anubhavena panino sabbe saddhamma rajassa ñatva dhammang sukhavahang papunantu visuddhaya sukhaya patipattiya asoka manupayasang nibbana sukha muttamang chirang tittatu saddhammo dhamme hontu sagarva sabbepi satta kalena samma devo pavassatu yatharakkinsu purana surajano tatevimang raja rakkatu dhammena attanova pajang imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya dhammang pujemi imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya sanghang pujemi addhaimaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha parimuccissami idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu idamme punyang nibbanassa patsayo hotu mama punya bhagang sabba sattanang bhajemi te sabbe me samang punya bhagang labhantu sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Thank you very much for opening this teaching. Sadhu sadhu.
Sadhu.
Thank you very much, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much.